Hello artists, I'm going to be giving you guys an intro onto some of the tools that we have today. So the first one I'm going to start off is the white or black bowls you have. These ones are actually dog dishes, and the reason why I use these for ceramics is that they won't spill. They're pretty sturdy, and you'll notice I already put water in mine. The key is you don't need a lot of water. I only have up to like my knuckle, so maybe a ½ inch worth of water. You don't need too much, just that little bit will get you started. You also have a Ziploc bag with your clay, something like this. You'll see that it's nice and soft. We call that elastic, that you can kind of push your finger into and make indents. Make sure that this is always closed all the way when you're done with it, so that it doesn't dry out. If it does dry out, I'll be sharing a different video with you guys on some tips and techniques. You guys also have an empty plastic bag. This is where you'll be putting your actual work when you are done with it, so that it doesn't dry too quickly. And then we have our tools here. We have a sponge, which is really useful for smoothing out any clay. I actually want to take out some clay, and I'm going to show you guys how to break up our clay. So I have my big bag of clay here. I'm going to open it up, and I want to take some of this clay off. So what I'm going to use, it's called a wire tool. These ones are actually have a polyester fiber instead of wire, which is really, really nice. Some of you guys do have the wire ones. And it has two handles, and then it has a long string. So this is how we actually take off our clay. We use this string, you place it up against your clay, and you pull it through so that you end up with a cut off chunk of clay. So I'm going to move my big bag off to the side and have my small bit here. So I'm going to put my cutter off to the side. So your sponge is really good if your clay is getting dry on the outside and you need to add a little bit of water. The key is to only add a little bit of water at a time. The sponge is also good for smoothing out creases, and that's really more of a finishing product. So if you want something a little bit more smooth, the sponge is good because you won't get your finger marks in it. So you have that tool. We have a wire loop tool. These are not my favorite tools because they're not very versatile, but what they are really good at is making textures. If you want to make any kind of indent in there, and you can do some carving with these. They're not my favorite carving tools. I'm going to show you a better tool for carving. The next one I want to show you is the needle tool. You'll notice we have brand new needle tools, so you all have this plastic tip to it. Take that plastic off to work, and this is really good if you want to carve out any really fine detail. If you have a smaller slab, right, something thinner, and you want to cut out a shape, these work really good for that too, right? Great for cutting things out. When we make our pumpkins later on, you might want to use that to like carve out your jack-o'-lantern. These are very sharp, so be careful and always put the plastic cover back onto it so it doesn't poke through your supply bag. We also have a felting knife. Felting knives do have a sharp side to them. You'll see it's this beveled side here. They're not crazy sharp, but they still are sharp. But they're really good at kind of carving out pieces of your clay if you need to slice into it. I use these often. I do a series of cups and things like that where I actually carve into the clay to give it this look of bark. So just by carving that a little bit into it and having that a little bit raised, you can cut into it. So if you want to cut a bigger area, they work really good for cutting into the clay. Again, I'm using the sharp side to do that. And I can kind of gouge out now. Use a tool like my wire tool to gouge out that clay that I just created. And then you have a toothbrush. The toothbrush is used to slip and score things. So whenever you're attaching clay to clay, you need to slip and score. So let's say I have this chunk of clay and I want to attach it to here, right? If I just stick it on, especially as it starts to dry, it's just going to fall off. So in order to make this stick, I'm going to slip and score, and I'll show you what that means. The toothbrush allows you to do multiple steps at once. So if I dip my toothbrush in my water, so now that it's wet, I can rub it onto my clay where I want to stick it. What that's doing, you see those little lines? That's called scoring. And it's also adding that little bit of water, add a little bit more, which is creating slip. Slip is when clay is liquidy. So I'm going to do it on this side, and I'm going to do it to the piece I want to attach. I'm just rubbing it on there like I'm brushing it like with teeth. I've slip and scored the small piece, the big piece, and now I can stick this on and do some smoothing. And now it's on there much better. It won't fall off. So that is just the basic of the tools that we have. Oh, and one more, forgot. You will also have carving tools. These ones have a sharp edge along the edges here, kind of like your felting knife does. And it looks a lot like your wire tool, but you'll notice your wire tool is round all the way through. This one has an edge because this one's better for carving out areas. You are getting carving tools, but they're not going to be quite this big. They are smaller set. We just don't have them in yet. So as soon as those come in, those will come out to you guys, but they're just really good at carving away chunks. It's a good subtractive process. So after you guys watch this video, go ahead and answer the questions just to check for understanding, and then you can move on to your next video.